Next up, we got Twitter, which is a customizable news feed and micro-blogging platform with approximately 300 million users around the world. It has a market cap of $13 billion. It's not profitable, nor paying any dividends.
Yes.
So this is the sort of black sheep of the list.
It is the black sheep of the list.
It's been struggling.
It has a lot of issues in terms of the business structure. You know, they've gone and they've had sort of interesting ventures, things that sort of work that they then decided to discontinue, and they sort of had a massive sort of compensation scheme with shares that sort of bulked up way too big in terms of the business profitability, and you know, they're not really focused. They've got many sort of different things. They don't really know what they stand for, what they do, what they want to do, where they want to get at. So I think in terms of business structure, this is a great M&A opportunity for a good company with strong management to take over.
We have seen rumors recently.
And it seems like Twitter themselves are quite keen for that to happen. So yes, in that space, it has a lot of potential, but there's nothing showing yet.
I mean, personally, I'm thoroughly reliant on Twitter. I even get all my JSE Sense announcements via Twitter.
Yeah.
So it's a great news feed.
Absolutely.
I just think if you're not on it already, you know, the sort of new users are very slow, and that's what a lot of advertising platforms are looking for. But they are slowly working that advertising through, and they're looking at live streaming. But I think, again, because Facebook have so much more reach, Facebook just decided to do the live streaming as well and completely dominate what Twitter were trying to do.
I agree, and I think, like you said, you know, people who's not on Twitter don't really know why they should go onto Twitter. Where for Facebook, it's easy, you know, you're going to connect with everyone you haven't seen in ages, or people that you see all the time and want to see more of.
And if you wanted to follow celebrities, you can go to Instagram. You don't really need Twitter for that anymore.
And people are sort of more visually enticed anyway, so that's why something like Instagram would be more lucrative for people to join than Twitter. Twitter is sort of, you need to want to read some reports, you want to go onto links, follow some research, etc. For me, it's great. For you, it's great. I think for a lot of business people, it's great. But I think they can actually exploit sort of the focus on that way more.
A lot of business people, and Donald Trump, of course. You know, he's not afraid
that's quite
of
entertaining. Yeah, so I follow him just for the entertainment value. But yeah, like you say, there hasn't been a clear focus on why they're doing what they're doing and why people should be sort of coming into this network and being a part of it.
And that's a hard sell for the advertisers as well.
Absolutely.
Especially when there's quite a lot of competition. You know, there are lots of sort of options. We haven't really even talked about the advertising on Google. So hot or not on Twitter? Do you think it's I mean, it's definitely got a great function. It's got 300 million users or more, which is not anything to laugh at. You can see the graph there. Huge spike on the listing, and then it's been a sorry story since. A little bit of a spike sort of recently when there were M&A rumors coming through.
But that's basically sideward movement when you look at the volatility. I'd say I'd wait for some sort of better. You'll have to keep your ear properly on the ground, because if it comes out, then it's going to move. But I'd rather get in on the start of that move than be in this company and just sort of wait around and nothing happens. I'd rather employ my money in something like Alphabet or Facebook or Naspers, where there's a real income stream growth that we're seeing coming through, and where there's sort of substantial drivers for the growth going forward. Twitter, not quite the case yet, so I think there's some room for it to improve before I'd be interested.
Yeah, I must say I agree. I'm not the kind of investor that buys into something on the hope of M&A. You know, you want to be buying this business for its long-term growth potential. I certainly think there's a great function there, but I think management's need to turn things around a bit, and I don't know, Jack Dorsey doesn't seem to be doing the best job there.
I think all the watchers should go follow us on Twitter, and then, you know, that should sort of
it's tough to get followers on Twitter, you know, because there's no new subscribers.
There we go. We need people on Twitter. So before we see that, we can't really buy the share.
Okay, so we're not going to be hot until we each get 10,000 followers.
Absolutely.